My name is Daniel Weisbeck. I'm Vice President of Marketing for Polycom. I've been in the IT video industry for about 15 years, and I've been with Polycom for over a year. I joined Polycom because they are the leader in the standards-based unified communications industry. One of the things that makes Polycom unique in our market space is that we have been around for about 22 years driving unique IP and technologies in unified communications. We started with conference calling, the iconic conference phone, which most people in the world recognize by shape rather than logo. We moved into video conferencing by acquiring a company, room-based and desktop-based video conferencing, by acquiring a company called Via Video. And then around 2007, we bought a company called Destiny and moved us into immersive telepresence space as this was emerging. And most importantly, what I'm here to talk to you about today is the latest milestone in the Polycom roadmap, which is a product we launched called Polycom Real Presence Mobile, which is the industry-leading standards-based, high-definition, what we call business-grade video collaboration that connects tablets, regardless of OS, to room-based and immersive-based systems. So this application works on both the Apple iPad, the Samsung and the Samsung Galaxy, and the Motorola Zoom tablets, and it can dial into Polycom and other room-based vendor systems and immersive systems. But what's interesting about this particular product is I'm going to talk about the trends behind why we developed it, but most importantly, how those trends are driving the future of video and video collaboration, how they'll impact you and your businesses, and also how they're going to impact cloud-based services as we go forward. Very quickly, I think there's one more there. I'm going to go into more detail on each one of these trends, but these are the things that we look at when we're talking to our customers. And collaboration in the cloud is key, and you've heard it from a couple of people that have spoken today. We know, I saw the same Gartner report that Paul showed earlier, 50% of the enterprises are looking at it. Gartner predicts that by 2012, 40% of enterprises are going to be in what we call a hybrid scenario, both cloud-based, premise-based, cloud private, and public-based cloud solutions. And that will be dispersed amongst their many federated offices, so they'll have different solutions amongst the different remote offices. Mass mobility, we're going to talk a lot more about this because as smartphones and tablets take off and start to replace other PC standard-based devices, we're definitely starting to see the apex of when video has the potential to become a ubiquitous collaboration technology. Social collaboration and growth. Both the mobility and the social collaboration growth fall into buckets that we call the consumerization of enterprise. And what this means is these technologies actually started in the home. They started in the consumer environment, and they're finding their way into people's offices, and IT and CIO departments are having to find ways to support these dispersed and different operating systems and devices. And obviously, as Web 3.0 technologies come along, HTML5, H.265, SVC technologies, these are allowing us to extend the network effect of video across internets and cloud-based solutions. So video. There are 5 drivers of the key of the visual, what we call the visual mobile society, and also what we also call on our side of the business, the visual mobile economy. One is the mobile device proliferation. Again, we're going to talk about this, but what's important to note is that tablets are well established in the market space today in the consumer arena, but they're very rapidly moving into the enterprise and the business space. We're going to talk about what that looks like from a landscape point of view. Network readiness, sorry, we'll pop back. Network readiness, cloud delivery, social connectedness. Social media is moving into the business environment, and there's nothing that's been better prepared to connect all your unified communication solutions, including video, than social media. And also, there's a whole generation of people raised on video out there, and we're going to talk a little bit about what that means for the employees that are in school today that are coming up into the workforce. So mobile device proliferation. Reports or estimates today are there are about 64 million tablets that are shipping around the world. By 2015, that's going to increase 5-fold, 320 million. And there's no doubt that tablets are starting to replace PCs. Now, what's great about tablets is they're connected to the internet and they're video ready. 90% of enterprise tablets will be video enabled by 2015, and 92% of the Fortune 500 companies are testing or deploying iPads today. That's a stat that comes from Apple. There's also a recent report I read from Citrix that talked about companies, Fortune 500 companies, and that 62% of the employees are already using their tablets inside the work environment, but only 15% of the IT departments are supporting them. So there's a gap. There's a gap in what the people are bringing into the office and using and what the companies have the capability to support today. And so it's that gap that we're talking about with our customers, and it's that gap that drove the launch of Polycom Real Presence Mobile. Network readiness. Mobile devices come ready with 3G, 4G technologies are just around the corner. Wi-Fi technologies are readily available. As we have these technologies and the bandwidth of video continues to decrease, you can now run a high-definition business-grade video collaboration environment, multi-point, across a 3G network. And that's why it's important that these technologies, which are mobile technologies, allow those tablets now to connect into premise-based room systems. Cloud delivery, Paul talked about this as well. 41 billion today, 241 billion by the year 2020. There is no doubt that cloud plays a huge part of the future of every business strategy. Whether you're a large company or you're a small business, cloud is going to be a part of private and public-based infrastructure and software. And we're going to talk about both what they call platform as a service and software as a service, and how video is going to encourage or drive businesses to move to more cloud-based solutions. Social connectedness. 800 million people use Facebook. 140 million on video chat. What's important to understand here is that social media is moving into the business environment, and it's finding a new life there in a way that enables people to have real-time, ad hoc, spontaneous collaboration like they've never had before. It's inclusive of IM, it's inclusive of video. And Polycom just recently announced a relationship with Jive, which is a social media business application, which we will enable the live video chat inside of Jive. And of course, the generation raised on video. There are 3 billion videos viewed on YouTube today, and 66% mobile traffic by 2015 is anticipated to come from video. We're in a video society, and we're in a visual society, and the consumer space is far ahead of us, but business is catching up. We're moving away from premise-based room systems, and we're moving into mobile devices. But as I mentioned, there's a gap in there. However, as we start to move video onto these tablets and these mobile devices and into these social media arenas, you're talking about a plethora of people connecting video to a company's network. That requires unlimited scalability and security that we've never seen before in the industry. The Polycom Real Presence platform makes it possible to connect anyone, anywhere, at any time. So what do I mean by the Polycom Real Presence platform? This is what we call the unified communication stack. At the very base of the stack is the core networking and security of anybody's premise-based systems. On top of that is what we call the Polycom Real Presence platform. This is what will enable any device, any application, across any service provider to connect video and high definition and secure collaboration. These 5 categories of software are at the heart of Polycom's unifying communications. So universal video collaboration deals with video bridge, high definition video bridging capabilities, video resource management, connecting into calendaring and directories, and IT management services, virtualization management, the ability to be able to create a virtual network of always-on, resilient, and redundant high-definition video. And obviously security. Security is a big part of the biggest challenge that companies are facing when it comes to unified communications and the socialization of video on the multiple devices. And video content management. All of this video is creating a backlog of content that needs to be managed. It needs to be cataloged, it needs to be meta-tagged, it needs to be accessible to employees past the live video interaction. And so these 5 categories are required for anybody to be able to develop a platform to connect what we call, above that, the application and the device level. And most people, when they talk about unified communications, deal with the application level. So IM, call control, web conferencing, video collaboration, and mobility and social. There are other components in there as well, like email. But what's important to note is there are multiple vendors in the world that provide those applications, and there are multiple vendors in the world that provide the device level above the application as well. Polycom's position is to drive interoperability through open standards and connect all of these different vendors in the world so that companies can access best-of-breed technologies. So the Polycom Real Presence platform natively integrates with Microsoft Link, IBM SameTime, OpenScape. It also natively integrates with the Apple iOS and the Android on the tablets. So it's about bringing these dispersed devices and these dispersed applications together and making them work natively in a way that truly drives unified communications. And when you are able to deliver that unified strategy, you then extend the possibility on that platform for service providers and private cloud-based solutions to drive the scalability that's required for tablets and for smartphones. What's key here to note is in Polycom's Virtualization Manager, we just recently announced carrier-class scalable capabilities. So now you can, actually with Polycom's DMA solution, you can run up to 75,000 devices and 25,000 concurrent calls. So that's something that's required when you're going to have that many devices that are talking to each other in a multi-point video conferencing environment. But most importantly is that you be able to do it in a way that's secure and extensible. So this is the Polycom Real Presence solution. The future video collaboration is definitely resides in a society that's connecting at anywhere, at any time, on any device, and we're working very closely with the service providers in the world. Polycom just recently announced what we call the Open Visual Communication Consortium. And this is a consortium of all the world's largest service providers. And they're currently working with Polycom and other vendors to drive the world's largest standard-based open exchange so that video calls can become as ubiquitous and as easy to make as a phone call is today. And when you make those calls across multiple service providers, you don't need to worry about what device or application people are using at the far end. The video call is just going to go through. What that does is that allows premise-based video solutions that have been behind firewalls today to move outside of those firewalls safely and securely. And we'll start to see solutions being delivered out of the Open Visual Communication Consortium as early as next year. So that's Polycom, that's where we're at. We do have some demonstrations in the back of the room showing the iPad working in with one of our room systems, the HEX 7000. I encourage you guys to take a look at it, and I appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.